Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Katie and I'm the Organic Esthetician. In today's video, we're going to talk about the difference between two of the MyoLift devices, the MyoLift Mini and the MyoLift QT. I'm also going to show you some tips and tricks that I like to use to get the most out of my MyoLift QT treatments. And I'm going to talk a little bit about one of the newer products from 70 Wellness called the Anti-Aging Peptide Serum. So one of the questions I get asked most often is, should I get the QT or should I buy the Mini? I'm hoping that this video will help answer that question for a lot of you if it's something you've asked yourself before. There are only two differences between the QT and the MyoLift Mini. The first one is that the MyoLift QT is app-based. You have to use an app to turn it on and to use the different programs available. So the MyoLift QT comes with a bunch of programs provided on the app. There are video tutorials walking you through every single step of your treatment. So it really helps to take the guesswork out of your at-home microcurrent treatment. Now, the other main difference between the two devices is that the MyoLift QT is a handheld, only one set of probes, and the MyoLift Mini uses two probes. That's it. They both have the same intensity, they both offer the same waveform programs, and they both can be used with every single attachment 70 Wellness makes. I find that the MyoLift QT is just easier to use for most people. Having a handheld that you can quickly do treatments with is just a lifesaver, I think, if you're going to be doing treatments often. I like that I can travel with it. It's not a huge unit. It's easy for me just to throw in a bag. And I love that the app has a custom setting where you can create your own bespoke treatments for yourself that cater to whatever your specific needs are. That's how I use it most often. Now, the MyoLift Mini, especially because you have two probes, I find can be a little more targeted in your treatments. You have two probes, you hold them together and pinch the muscle to lift and tighten. You have two probes that start together and glide away to stretch and release. Therefore, the MyoLift Mini, because of its ability to target specific muscles with the dual probes, can be a little more effective at getting results. However, in today's video, I'm going to show you a few tips and things that I find that really help elevate my MyoLift QT treatments and give me amazing results using a single handheld. Okay, so the new product from 70 Wellness, the Anti-Aging Peptide Gel, is a water-based serum that can be used on its own morning and night or underneath your conductivity gel to enhance your at-home microcurrent treatment. Microcurrent will enhance the penetration of any product that is underneath it. So if you apply a product to your skin, you do microcurrent over the top of it, it's going to now push that product deeper into your skin, making it more effective. So this serum is a blend of hyaluronic acid. It has zinc, which is going to help reduce inflammation, promote cellular health, and increase conductivity. And then it has a copper peptide, which is phenomenal at stimulating collagen, along with a polypeptide blend. So these specific types of peptides are called signaling peptides. They signal to your skin to preserve the collagen that you have and to produce more of it. Using collagen topically will do nothing for your skin. I'm sorry, it's an unfortunate thing. But if you bought a serum or a cream with collagen in it, it's not going to do anything topically. To increase collagen, you need to integrate ingredients that are precursors to collagen formation or things like signaling peptides that are going to help talk to the proteins in your skin already to actively protect the collagen that you have or to produce more of it. Another way to increase collagen is to take vitamin C internally. I love the liposomally encapsulated vitamin C. That's something I take every day. So not only do you get antioxidant support and immune support, it's a great way of increasing that collagen production inside. You can also use vitamin C topically. Another great way to preserve, protect, and promote collagen in your skin. This serum is going to be fantastic at adding hydration and increasing the effects of the microcurrent treatment that you're already doing. It's water-based, it's non-comedogenic, it's incredibly lightweight, it absorbs almost instantly into the skin. I think everyone is gonna like this. I always start with a hydrating serum, as you'll see in my tutorial that I'm gonna show you in just a second. I love creating that hydrating layer first and then applying other serums over the top. I feel like I get better product penetration that way. When you're doing a microcurrent treatment, you always want to make sure that your skin is hydrated. Another reason why the Anti-Aging Peptide Serum is going to be helpful is because it has that hyaluronic acid in it. You can also drink water before and during a microcurrent treatment. The more hydrated your skin and body are, the better the current will be absorbed in the body. All right, so now I'm going to show you a couple tips on how to get the most out of your MyoLift QT treatments. All right, so I'm going to start by prepping my skin. I already have a hydrating serum, Serum Absolute Rehydrate from Luzern on. I always apply that first after I use my hydrating essence. And so now I'm going to use the Anti-Aging Peptide Serum from 7E. So it's water-based, it's incredibly lightweight. I'd say non-comedogenic. You could use this no matter what your skin type is. And this is gonna be fantastic underneath a conductivity gel. So then you'll apply your conduction. I love the Restore from 7E Wellness or the Collagen Promoter Gel from Sculpla. So not all the Sculpla products are clean. The mist, all those oxygenating products use fluorocarbons, which are wildly harmful for the environment. But this specific item is clean. So I really like this too. I also like using sheet masks, water-based face masks. You can get really creative with your conduction, especially because you have a conductivity bar on all the 7E Wellness devices. So it'll let you know that you have conduction or not while you're doing a treatment. Another thing I really love is the Morningstar Minerals Dermal Boost. So I use this as a conductivity spray. Essentially, this is just purified water and fulvic minerals. So you can see this list of all the minerals that are in here. It's gonna add a lot of conduction to the surface of the skin. I have trouble using my QT because it's app-based while I'm filming. So I'm technically not going to have my device on, but I am gonna show you these moves. So you're always gonna wanna start with the stretch setting. It's called stretch on the QT. It's called erase on the MyoLift Mini. So this is going to stretch and elongate the muscle. I always use stretch first. I start at the neck and I work my way up. I'm really only gonna show you stretch moves because the educate or short movements using the QT are pretty straightforward. You're just going to do holds or a glide and hold when you're using your device. I don't need to show you how to troubleshoot any of those movements. But when it comes to stretch or erase, where you're elongating and stretching the muscle, I think it's helpful to understand how the muscle moves so that you can mindfully do movements that work against that muscle contraction. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of mist. So I have some slip on the skin. And I'm going to have my handheld QT in one hand. I'm gonna use my other hand to support. Essentially, my other hand becomes that second probe. So I'm gonna start on my platysma. It runs from about the collarbone up to a little underneath the cheekbone. And so I'm going to support with one hand and then slowly glide up and away from my support. And the farther away I get, the bigger the stretch I feel. And then you can repeat that 3 times per section. And then you would move on to the next spot, come up here, and do a nice little stretch. If you have tightness in your traps, I showed a stretching video using the conductivity gloves, but you could use the QT, hold, and glide away, and it's gonna stretch out those tight muscles. So because I clench my jaw, because I'm constantly on my phone, I get a lot of tightness through my neck. When your platysma and your trapezius and your sternocleidomastoid, all of these muscles that are here along the neck get tight and contract, they're gonna pull the face down. They're going to contribute to that horizontal banding that can happen on the neck, can also contribute a little bit to gel formation. So I'm only going to use my stretch program on my neck. I don't do educate or lift on the neck, and that's just me. So next, I'm going to move to the mouth area. So now we're looking at our mentalis, our depressors, and orbicularis oris, which goes all the way around the mouth in a circle. So let's start with the orbicularis oris. Because it's a circle or sphincter muscle, you can work it from every which way to help release and stretch it. So you can hold and glide away to one side, and then hold and glide away to the other. You can also just kind of work your way back and forth on the lip and back and forth underneath the lower lip. Or glide away, you get more of a stretch, glide away. Next, the mentalis. So as this muscle tightens, it curves up and tightens like this, which will contribute to that crease or line that can form underneath the lower lip. So what you're gonna do is hold at the lip. You can also just tighten your lip with your mouth and glide down and over the chin. So either way, this is gonna help work against that turning up of the chin. Next, we have our depressors. So there's two here. They form a little triangle at the corner of the mouth. And as they tighten and contract, they pull the corners of the mouth down. And that's when you get that kind of resting frown, right? So we're going to support at the corner and stretch and glide down. Support at the corner and stretch and glide down. That's going to help release any tightness around the mouth. It'll help minimize line formation from the corner down and those perpendicular lines on the upper and lower lips. From there, I move to the eye area. So we have a lot going on here. We have the procerus and the nausea. We have the orbicularis oculi, another sphincter muscle that goes all the way around the eye socket. And then we have the corrugators up here on top. So we're going to address each one of those in similar fashions. So my favorite move, I demoed this in my facial massage video, but you're just going to support at one tail of the brow, and you're going to glide your device with one probe on either side of the brow, and you're just going to glide it up and over towards the front of the brow. Up and over. Then you're going to support at the front of the brow and go back the way you just came. So one probe on either side, gliding up and over towards the tail this time. Now, I don't have my device on. I'm simply stretching this muscle with my fingers and the probe, and you can already see how lifted and open my eye area is. As this muscle gets tight, it gets smaller and pulled down. And by stretching and releasing it, you open up and lift the whole eye area. So next, you're going to support at the corner and you're going to very gently glide in. And then you're going to hold at the corner and very gently glide out. Pretty easy. So in those movements, we address both the orbicularis oculi and the corrugator muscle. But we also have the procerus where it meets the corrugator and the orbicularis oculi, this glabellar region, and that's where those 11 lines come in, right? So what we're gonna do is support on one side and glide away from the support. You don't have to go all the way out. You can if you want to, but you're really just creating a stretch right in this little zone right in here. Starting the center, gliding away, and hold. And you can kind of pull a little bit with this finger. So you anchor and pull your finger this way as your probe glides away, creating a stretch in this muscle. So same thing, anchor, glide away. And that's going to address those 11 lines. Now for your frontalis. So this is your forehead muscle. It runs from here all the way back here. I love releasing my scalp to help reduce fine lines on my forehead. I do that using an Anma. I have a whole video on how to use an Anma. I do a scalp massage with this every day. Using this all over the face before you do microcurrent is a great way to enhance the results of your microcurrent treatment. I retail these on the OE shop, and I'll put a link down below. So now, using your microcurrent on that stretch mode, I'm going to support here, and I'm going to glide up and away as I stretch down my nose. So kind of start together, and I'm going to glide apart. Then you can kind of come up, put your support a little higher, and then hold as you glide up to really stretch and release these horizontal lines that form on the forehead. And you're just going to do that as you glide out towards the temple. So you're supporting here and gliding away so you get a nice little stretch as the current flows through the muscle. And then work your way across to the other side. So those are my tips on how to get a better stretch and a deeper release using the MyoLift QT on that stretch program. After you've completed those movements, now you can go in with your lift or your short or your educate mode, whichever you want to call it. It changes device to device, but it does the exact same thing. So I do not lift my neck or my forehead, and that's just me personally. This is a very tight muscle. I have a lot of contraction and tightness. I just released it. I don't need to add to tightening that muscle. That muscle is going to stay tight on its own. Same with my forehead. I don't need to add any activation through this muscle across my forehead. It's activated every day. I'm a face maker. I'm constantly contracting and working this muscle. So I want to focus on relaxing and stretching it. And just a little side anecdotal note. I'm 35. I've never done Botox. I've never used any cosmetic injectables anywhere on my face. So I think that a big reason that I don't have deep forehead lines, it's not because of genetics. It's not because of lack of sun exposure or lack of muscle contraction. I truly believe that it's because I do a lot of microcurrent and facial massage. And the combination of the two help to release that tightness that creates those adhesions that form those deep furrow lines. I'm not trying to make anyone who does injectables feel bad. Using microcurrent over an injectable is a fantastic way to elongate the effects of that injectable and to keep the muscle healthy, because it can atrophy and eventually you can get some cell death and all kinds of icky things if you're constantly freezing a muscle without getting any blood flow or health to that tissue in between. Okay, so sorry, little tangent. Now you can go in with your lift. So all you're gonna do, I work from under the jaw up, and I really just focus through the cheeks, the lower and upper part of the cheek, or this part of my face. So I just do some glides up and hold like this. I'll come up here and get underneath the cheekbone, and I'll do some long holds here. I'll run it back and forth underneath the cheekbone like this to carve it out. I'll hold it at the front, I'll hold it at the back. So then I'm really just kind of getting into all of these areas where these different muscles are attaching. And then I'll go in and do a little lift, just a couple holds here and there. And that lifts the brow even more. And that's all you have to do. These treatments can be done as little as once a week, or if you want to do an intensive, you could do them every other day for a few weeks until you get the results that you're desiring. And then to maintain those results, you'll do a treatment 1 to 2 times a week moving forward. All right, everyone, I hope this video shed a little light on the differences between the Mini and the QT. And for those of you who have a QT already, I hope that my demo showed you a few tips and tricks to enhance the treatments you're already doing. If you are interested in purchasing a MyoLift QT, I sell them on the OE. I will put a link down below. You can also purchase the MyoLift QT and the MyoLift Mini over on 7E Wellness's site and use my discount code for 5% off your purchase. If you're interested in the Peptide Serum, you can also purchase this over on 7E's website. Now, because I'm a small business, I'm not able to give a lot of discounts, but what I do offer is added value. So the MyoLift QT is $299. You get free shipping when you purchase it through the OE. While supplies last, I am giving away a complimentary Luzern kit with every purchase over $300. So $299 counts. So if you buy a MyoLift Mini, you will get a Luzern kit. Again, while supplies last, I only have so many of these. You'll get a travel size of the cleansing creme, a deluxe sample of the firming facial mist, a Hydra enzyme mask sample, a deluxe sublime oil sample, a Luzern headband, and a branded cleansing mitt. And it comes in these little cute white travel bags. So this is a $123 value. I think it's a pretty good deal. So you have two options when purchasing your MyoLift QT, and whichever way you choose, you get to support me and the channel. All right, everyone, I'm going to put links to all of the products I talked about down below, along with discount codes. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, make sure you subscribe. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you really soon. Bye.